Thank you for your interest in the Indianapolis Metropolitan Planning Organization's Regional Freight Plan Update. IMPO is the designated planning organization for Central Indiana, responsible for investing federal transportation funds in the highways, transit, non-motorized transportation, and other modes of people and goods movement in a region that covers all of Marion County and portions of Boone, Hamilton, Hancock, Hendricks, Johnson, Morgan, and Shelby counties. IMPO is conducting this regional freight plan update to identify the regional freight planning needs, prioritize multimodal infrastructure improvements, and develop policy recommendations to enhance the freight corridors and sub-areas in the central Indiana region. In this presentation, we present the results of research and data analysis of the existing and future freight conditions in the region, starting with an examination of the relationship of the freight transportation system to the regional economy, and then taking a modal approach to talk about the system use and condition. This freight plan update incorporates IMPO's most recent long-range transportation plan guidelines, provide a clear understanding of the region's freight system, link the freight operational performance to the local industry activities, and identify freight needs and issues. The region's economy is supported by industries that rely on the transportation of physical goods to support the industry's operations. In particular, manufacturing, retail, and wholesale trade and transportation are important to the region's economy, both in terms of the number of employment and annual contribution to gross domestic product. 1/3 of the employment in central Indiana is from these freight-intensive industries. According to Connexus Indiana, multiple national polls and research have recognized Indiana as a top-ranked state for its business environment, including its government efficiency, fiscal stability, and affordability. Some of the advantages of doing business in central Indiana include its dense network of interstates and highways, which is primarily used to ship goods in and out of Hamilton County, its conveniently located railroad infrastructure, its top 10 air cargo airport, and its high concentration of transportation and warehousing facilities. In terms of freight-related employment, the most concentrated locations are nearby interstates and major state highways. These location decisions reinforce the importance of a high-quality road network for freight-related businesses and employment in central Indiana. The region is served by hundreds of miles of interstates, U.S. highways, state highways, and county roads. Additionally, several weighing motion stations, public truck stops, industrial parks, public refrigerated warehouses, and intermodal transload facilities also support the region's freight activities. CSX is the primary domestic long-haul railroad that serves central Indiana. It is supported by 2 intermodal rail terminals and 8 truck rail transload facilities. A shoreline railroad also provides feeder traffic from local businesses to CSX. The IMPO region also has one of the nation's largest air cargo operations in terms of tonnage moved, located at the Indianapolis International Airport. This airport is home to the second largest FedEx Express hub in the world. There are also 5 smaller airports in central Indiana that have the capability to move air cargo. The region's freight infrastructure work together to move goods in, out, around, and through the region. The road network is the workhorse of the freight network, moving nearly 70% of the cargo in central Indiana. The primary commodities moved by trucks include construction products, such as gravel and crushed stone, along with agricultural and food products. Truck trips tend to be the shortest of all of the modes, with over half of them being less than 100 miles in distance. Pipelines move nearly a quarter of the region's goods, primarily petroleum products. Most goods moved by pipeline travel 100 to 249 miles. Bulk rail lines carry coal and other bulk products amounting to about 7% of the goods moved in the region, with average trip distances of over 500 miles. intermodal truck rail traffic tends to travel over 750 miles. Air cargo represents less than 1% of the goods moved in the region. A large percentage of air cargo is constituted of high-value commodities and travels over 500 miles. The IMPO categorizes the region's road network into 4 tiers. Tier 1, primary freight network. Tier 2, remainder of interstate and commerce corridors. Tier 3, regional freight corridors. And Tier 4, freight connectors. The highest truck volumes in central Indiana occur on the interstates. In particular, I-69, I-465, I-65, and I-70 average over 12,000 trucks per day in the region. Trucking activity occurs throughout the MPO region. However, many of the largest truck generators are located in the downtown, southern, and southwestern portions of the region. These generators include industrial parks, transload facilities, grain elevators, and refrigerated warehouses. Truck bottlenecks occur at highway segments that feature relatively large volumes of trucks that travel at speeds lower than the original roadway design. There are several different methods for congestion analysis. The map shows the nationwide analysis of truck bottlenecks conducted by the Federal Highway Administration. The analysis identified only a minor bottleneck along the I-65 corridor in Indianapolis. Most metropolitan regions in the U.S. have much higher levels of congestion relative to Indianapolis. Using a customized congestion analysis, we identified the top bottlenecks within the IMPO region. The top bottleneck locations in central Indiana are located in the downtown area and portions of northern Indianapolis, with a few locations north of downtown. 4 of the top 10 bottlenecks in IMPO are on the interstate network, with the remaining locations being on state highways and local roads. Truck-involved crashes tend to happen at the same rate as crashes not involving trucks. However, the damage from truck-involved crashes tend to be more severe. Between 2015 and 2019, there were over 20,000 truck-involved crashes in the IMPO region, resulting in over 100 deaths. Truck-involved crashes tend to occur on the highest truck volume road segments, such as interstates. In Indianapolis, several truck-involved crashes occurred on the I-465 loop. The Central Indiana rail infrastructure includes 220 miles of CSX rail, over 100 miles of regional and shoreline operations, 2 intermodal rail terminals, and 8 truck rail transload facilities. Additionally, there is a truck rail transload facility in Anderson, which is 30 miles northeast of Indianapolis. The CSX track is able to carry rail cars up to 286,000 pounds, while majority of the short-line operations can carry rail cars up to 263,000 pounds. The only federally designated highway rail intermodal connector in the region is the segment of US 36 and Dan Jones Road between Exit 13 on I-465 and the CSX intermodal facility in Avon. This connector provides vital links between the rail and highway networks and is currently operating efficiently, reporting no congestion even during peak periods. Safety at grade crossings is an issue in Indianapolis as it is in many regions around the U.S. Between 2016 and 2020, there have been 90 crashes at these crossings, causing 11 deaths and 39 injuries. The Indianapolis International Airport is the 8th largest air cargo airport in the U.S., handling over 2 billion pounds of freight in 2020. As mentioned earlier, there are also 5 reliever airports in the region. Reliever airports are airports that alleviate the congestion at primary commercial service airports, such as Indianapolis International Airport, and provide aviation access to the general public. These airports usually deal with limited amount of cargo service. There is an ongoing expansion of the FedEx facility at the Indianapolis International Airport, which indicates that there will be an increase in cargo moved through this airport in the near and long term. Pipelines are an efficient and cost-effective mode used to transport liquids, gases, and chemicals in large quantities. Therefore, this mode plays a crucial role in supporting many freight-reliant industries throughout Indiana. There are 9 petroleum product terminals in the Indianapolis region that are served by 13 pipelines. These terminals are primarily located in West Indianapolis or in the far northern suburbs, as shown in the map here. The Federal Highway Administration estimates current and future commodity flows for what is defined as the Indianapolis, Carmel, Muncie metropolitan area as part of the Freight Analysis Framework database. These estimates indicate that freight is forecast to grow by 43% in volumes between 2020 and 2045 for the region. This equals to roughly 1.4% growth annually. Air cargo is forecast to have the largest growth, nearly tripling over the time period. The rail forecast of 81% is largely driven by anticipated growth in coal. If growth in coal consumption does not increase, then rail traffic will likewise decrease as well. Coal and petroleum products, along with agricultural and food manufacturing products such as fertilizer production, wood production, cereal grains, and prepared foodstuffs, are forecast to grow significantly in terms of volumes. Thank you for listening to this presentation on existing and future freight conditions in Central Indiana. More detailed information on this work can be found in Working Paper 1, which is located on the IMPO website shown on the slide. This is the first step in a multi-step process towards developing the IMPO Freight Plan Update. Please return to this website for updates on future deliverables for this study.